Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Virgo July 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for Virgoans from different parts of the world by FaceTime and Skype over the course of the last month. And if you're interested to find out what's involved in that, just check out the description below. Now, I charge for that, of course, but what I don't charge for, and which I have also done for Virgoans in the last month, are healings. And they're done by FaceTime and Skype, and they're free. So check out the description if you're interested in either of those things. Now, what we do know, don't we, subscribers, is that there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this content, and so you get to enjoy the experience uninterrupted by commercial intrusion of a video nature. Now, what we also know is that this is a vampire deck. Sort of, there's a lot of vampires in it. Now, ordinarily, that wouldn't appeal to me, I must say, but this one, I find the paintings on it to be really romantic. And I'm a sucker for for romance in general. And so I must say that I do get a great response from this deck, and it speaks to me. I don't know what that says about me. Vampires are talking to me, but there you go, and we'll find out what is in store for you, because we only need to take 5 cards for them to speak in full to us. It's not a 10-second per card thing. It's the real business here, isn't it? As you know. Now let's take 5 and see what there is. The Lord of Grails. Well, that's always an important card, the first card that you've drawn, you see. There is the Hierophant. That's interesting. See, that's sort of romantic as well. There's the Two of Scepters. Sort of a muscly sort of a guy. Not unlike myself, really. In a parallel universe. And let us see here. Once this has jumped out by the looks of it, so that is what? The Three of Grails. That's definitely romantic. He's got it going on, that guy, as you'll see in just a second. And let's see what there is finally for you, shall we? See what there is, and then we'll get right into it. And there is the Fool. Marvelous. Well, why don't you come sit down here next to me? You and I will have, and just enjoy the very romantic and creative art in these cards, and see what they have to say while I do the reading for you. Excellent opportunities coming forward for you now. Some reflection, a great degree of energy and love around you. Someone that could be a bit of a tricky character. Let's start with the Fool and go up these major arcana, shall we? And see what is here. Now let's have a look at this Fool. Now the Fool is somebody who is, well, he's offering a white rose. Do you see that there? A white rose with fresh life blood spilling from its center. He is, after all, a vampire. And I think this symbolizes the unfolding of new beginnings and the first taste of something emerging out of nothing, brought about by the binding of lust and love. Now, I think that he is the magic lantern from which the theatre of life is cast, the master of illusion. Now, the base of the tomb that we see there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 animal masks, which I would imagine express the 4 elements, whose natures our Fool can draw into himself as he wills, mixing and combining the elements to his design, since he is also the trickster and weaver of shadows. I think that the Fool here represents any original, subtle or sudden impulse, which can come about for you from a completely strange or unexpected direction. In a sense, the feeling that I'm getting here is that this is a time when you will have something of a youthful, trusting side. You actually may even look younger during this period than you are. Now he, as you will be, is guided by his intuition and enthusiasm for life's experiences. Now, though he may not know what drives him, it is his inner desire to seek out enlightenment and find his full spiritual potential in this world. Now, he just starts his journey just like that, living moment to moment. The point is, though, he walks without fear. So you will be fearless, moving towards change and challenges. And he does represent your continual journey into new cycles of life's experiences. And with the completion of each cycle, of course, you acquire more knowledge, traveling forward to the next cycle of the unknown with courage, enthusiasm, and without fear. Now, in his journeys onward, he, like you, will be using your intuition, preparing to conquer the next problem or hurdle that comes your way. You see, he contains, and there is presented to you now, all possibilities. His deeper message is to know and to trust yourself, and by using your inherent knowledge combined and balanced with spontaneity and awareness, you are going to let each day be a new day with new possibilities, and you will not let life's past baggage weigh you down on this journey. And he encourages you to take risks and have faith. And if things don't work out, in one moment, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move on, knowing that the experience you had is just one of the many good or challenging experiences that are part of your soul contract here. He works from the very core of what is true for his heart, and he will say so. And he isn't afraid to make mistakes. He has no attachment to the outcome of his journey, because it is the journey that is important. He is on the road of discovery, experiencing life's challenges and life's gifts. Understand that there is nothing you cannot be, there is nothing you cannot do, there is nothing you cannot have. You are the most magnificent, the most remarkable, the most splendid being God has ever created. For who could reject such wondrous magnificence? But you do not know who you are, and you think you are a great deal less. You are your own rule maker, and you are the only one who can assess how you are doing. All you see in the world is your idea about it. Now understand that life will take off for you when you choose for it to. An idea becomes a thought becomes a word. Say it out loud. Words have power and they reverberate all throughout eternity. And a word becomes an action. And if you are going to do it, just start. And having started, go all the way. Seize the opportunities in front of you now. Rejoice in them, and let no power on earth take them from you. Now we should go above it, as we highlighted, and look at the Hierophant. Now this has got Taurus energy all over it, so it's one of your sister earth signs. And let us see what it has in store for you. What is here? Well, the Hierophant, his throne of skulls, relates to his ancient earthly nature and denotes an unbroken, inherited link between him and his ancestry, a knowledge passed down through generations. And you see these horns that are on his head there? Well, of course, the bull from Taurus has horns, but they are also a symbol of the slow and heavy quality of his character. He is old memory and archaic tradition, which is illustrated, I think, by these spiders' cobwebs which are around there. While there's wolf at his feet, well, that's an animal totem for the earth element, which is, of course, the symbol of social traditions and family structures and fits in well with the sign of Taurus. Now, this energy which is coming up here very much is encouraging you at this time to trust your intuition and to see the divine in all things. You see, everywhere you turn, there is the face of the divine, and he channels cosmic knowledge to you, helping you blend and balance your inner self with your outer world understanding about how all things are actually connected. He gives you the spiritual courage and the desire to look at your values and to see if they align with the divine plan for you. He asks, what is spiritually true to your soul and heart, and what is not? And I think what he does here is, at this moment, he's rebalancing your life and ideals that bring a renewal, a rejuvenation to your sense of well-being, to your self-confidence, and also to your spiritual sense. You see, when you are feeling lost or off-center, quiet yourself and listen to the guidance of the Hierophant. Now, you can do that through prayer or meditation, or just get out in nature and listen to the sounds of nature itself. Now, because he has appeared, I think it's a time when you might be questioning some of your values and where you are in life. Well, I think this indicates that there may be a need to seek guidance from someone else, and that could be a friend or an advisor to help get you back on track, on a spiritual track or on an emotional track. Or you might find that you are actually acting as a teacher or a mentor to somebody else. Now, he brings a time now for you to reevaluate your life, but he also brings solutions. And this energy reminds you to listen to your inner self, find your spiritual courage and your true destined path. Now, there was somebody up on that top row that had a feeling that, not uneasy feeling about it. It's the Lord of Grails. And why is that so? Let us have a look. Grails would relate to the emotions and to the relationships and things to do with matters of psychological enjoyment and emotional enjoyment. And here, he is holding aloft a skull. And I think he's holding aloft the skull because he is in some respect detached from relationships in a mental way. Now, the energy that I'm getting around this, incidentally, is Pisces and Aquarius. So this could be a man or a woman, of course, as a court card, but it's someone with commitment issues. There's someone who is friendly, and yet they're really kind of passive, certainly someone who's very attracted to excitement. And there's someone who can have an unsustainable enthusiasm for things. A person who is sensitive, but deep down is actually very shallow. So he's mostly passive, I think, with the qualities of a Venus or a weak Jupiter. And he is, on the whole, so superficial that it's hard to reach his depth. His name, in a sense, is written in water. Now, he is the Lord of waves and waters, and it's a person who maybe is also, I'm getting the feeling, someone who has mismanaged their affairs or tends to mismanage what they're doing in their life. And without luck, their career could well have been an unbroken record of failure. And of course, he's the Lord, so he's fire, and as Grails is in water, and they don't mix, do they? So very often his mental civil wars can lead to substance abuse. Now, the gay and lesbian members of the audience can make the necessary adjustment here, but this is a guy who is attracted to the opposite sex, and the opposite sex loves him. And you can substitute male and female for that, of course, as well. A person who can be very loving and generous, supportive and tender, and But it's someone who is ruled by emotions and not very practical, and to be honest will try to flatter you rather than pay their share of the expenses. There's someone who is often intensely insecure and needs constant reassurance. And at worst, they are unfaithful, fickle, shallow, highly emotional and unrealistic. Yet, I think that you yearn for an intensive interchange at this time with people of a like mind and a like outlook as you. So how can the interchange in your relationships be enriched? Seek out your true family. Birds of a feather flock together, you know. And say this to yourself: I am now finding the enriching contact that I need. Well then, what is then next that we might look at? We've come up here, we've gone across there. Oh, let's have a look at this Two of Wands. Well, the fiery nature of this, quite coincidentally, the astrology that I have with this is Mars ruling Aries. And of course, Mars is the CEO of Aries in astrology, if you like. The other sign it rules is Scorpio, but it's very much at home in Aries and has a very strong, warlike, aggressive, domineering, dominant sort of force about it. So I think that this is a time when you might well find that you are acting to dominate a situation, to get on top of something and pushing your point of view forward. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. And I notice that it's touching the Fool card here as well, which is talking about originality. And of course, Aries is a sign of originality in many respects. So I see here that you are going to come up with pioneering inspirations and ideas. Now, the fire and the passion, the spirit rather, and the passion of fire, because this is in scepters and you can see the fire there, it gives you focus and a determination to explore the new potentials that were highlighted by the Fool. The power of creative energy at work ignites your imagination and visions for future things yet to be seen. The challenge is to remain in balance, aligning the powerful flow of an almost divine energy with and through your soul self. And understand that through focus and balance, you can direct this fiery energy to make things happen, to manifest things. Now, the energy can burn away any blocks and distractions. It is a shifting energy. It's transformative. When you use this powerful energy in a mindful and balanced way, you are empowered now with confidence, personal power, and courage. And, as the Fool told you, you will be walking without fear. And as your path unfolds, your mind expands, your heart is full, your actions passionate, and you trust your intuitive feelings. You will be full of originality, creativity, and pioneering ideas. I think what this is also indicating is a successful partnership with like-minded people. And we saw that, didn't we, before somewhere? So this is an energy that's coming through. Your life force is activated, bringing you confidence and courage to follow your vision. Now, planning and preparation are major components and a must. The blueprint of your inspiration needs to be designed and formatted in the physical to take form. Do your homework. Now, if you do the necessary research, your goals will be achieved. This too signals a time to trust yourself. You have everything within you to achieve your dreams. Now, the message here is learning how to use and understand the divine energy in the world of matter. Now, that takes us finally, I think, to this one, which is Three of Grails underneath the Lord of Grails and opposite the Fool and diagonally opposite the Hierophant. So that means it is Mercury in Cancer. Now, Mercury in Cancer, well, Cancer is the most receptive of the signs, and Mercury is very much a planet of interaction and communication and eloquence in putting ideas across. But here, this Three of Grails shows three vampires sharing blood from the deep cauldron of life. Now, the sweet red nectar is abundant and overflowing, a delicious, tantalizing richness that unites them in spiritual sensuality. Now, this union between yourself and life, or between your inner and outer experience, that's the overriding message here in some respect. The vampire lady to the right is returning blood to the cauldron. Do you see that there? She's returning blood to the cauldron, and that's from her chalice. And I think that illustrates the eternal cycle of life energy. And to the bottom of the picture down here, you see that roses are blooming, while up at the top there is some strange, mysterious mask of grails. What about the vampire male here? Rather than doing particularly well for himself at the moment, I would say, is on his back there is a spiraling serpent, maybe as a tattoo, or it may not be a tattoo, and I think that symbolizes the development of passion and desire. And he gazes out here at this boat in the sea, watching his ship returning with plenty of treasure. Now, there is no doubt that there's going to be a great degree of sensuality around you at this time, and frankly, people are going to find you very sexually attractive, so do with that what you will. But I think that this is bringing, the message is coming through is that of celebration, of good times, and fulfillment for you. Happiness and joy surrounding you. This is also a very healing energy that brings you well-being. It is a bonding energy that brings strong, supportive friendships and loving relationships. Now, with this three, your heart is full, your life is happy, and your spirit is high. Mind, body, and spirit dance together. Now, the key to this energy is appreciating and embracing your joy and good fortune. It's time to celebrate your accomplishments. This is saying, just as the Fool does also, see these cards are all connected, that you should now seize the moment, enjoy this precious time, because before you know it, it will be another day and the moments change like the cycles of the moon. What's also happening here is that because it's come in, and in the position that it's come in, it's bringing success to you. Completions, you're completing things. There's also new beginnings, and I have to say it signals fertility and birth, so you might hear of pregnancy or birth. And you're just going to feel good. It brings joy, happiness, and laughter. And if your heart is a bit low, then this light-hearted energy reminds you that, as they say in the classics, laughter really is the best medicine. So appreciate and enjoy your friends, sharing your joys, loves, and successes, and honoring theirs as well. And this uplifting energy symbolizes maybe a festive sort of a party with food and music and lots of merriment. It really is saying to you that this is a wonderful time to be alive, so have some fun. Well, what a particularly great spread of cards for you. Well done, you. Didn't you find that fascinating? I certainly did, and what a wonderful month it looks like it's going to be for you. That's just fantastic. By the way, if you did like the video, do me the favor of pressing the like button. It's good for the YouTube computer system or something. It allows the channel to be seen by other people like that. It's the only favor that I ask from you. But what I will say is this, though, and that until I see you next time, remember one thing, well, actually, before I say that, check out the description box for the readings and in particular for the healings. I think you might be interested in the stuff that's there, particularly on my website. Now, until I see you again, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.